Welcome back. The parents of the Oxford school shooter are now facing charges of their own in the deaths of the 4 students who were gunned down last fall. The prosecution's job is to convince the judge to let this go to trial. But is that a high bar? Our legal analyst Dan Abrams has the answer.
Typically, you view this as almost a rubber stamp that the case is going to move forward. But this is a pretty unique legal theory here, holding the parents responsible for the actions of their child, involuntary manslaughter. So there is a real legal fight to be had, but I think based on the facts and based on the pressure that'll be on this judge, I'd expect that he likely would allow the case to move forward. The fact that the dad is basically saying, look, the minute I noticed my gun was gone, I'm calling 911, that this wasn't foreseeable. That's one of the critical legal arguments. There needs to be a level of foreseeability, not foreseeability that their kid could be in trouble, not foreseeability that their kid might do something silly, but really foreseeability of the responsibility of taking a life. Remember, when you're talking about involuntary manslaughter, you're saying that these parents are responsible for the deaths that were involved here. I think if you were going to say to me, what's the most important testimony or evidence for the prosecution here? It's the text messages. It's not what the parents did after the fact, right? It's not the fact that the mother's talking about wanting to keep her job, etc. It's what they didn't do beforehand. It's the fact that she knows that her son is talking about the bullets and saying, don't get caught. There's this heartbreaking text message where Ethan is texting that he thinks his house is haunted and he's seeing things in the house, and the mom doesn't respond, and he says, you're not even going to respond to my texts? And so it's things like that if this case moves forward to trial, I think it'll be very difficult for the parents emotionally, putting aside the legal aspects of this, for the jury to hear that, I think is going to be problematic for the parents. These are 2 separate defendants, and there is a lot more evidence against the mom than against the dad. And there could be an argument from the dad's lawyer that basically says, look, you know, that's her. You got to focus on the evidence against me. And the judge could decide, yeah, there's enough against one, not against the other. Unlikely, but possible.
Well, up next here on 6 News at 5:30, love was certainly